Hi guys, and welcome back to Brexit, Brexit Britain, a country who decided to go on a lovely exotic holiday. While on holiday, Britain was out on some beautiful waters, out with its partner on some beautiful waters. Their guide explained to them that these waters are piranha infested. At which point, Britain decided it was going to ask its partner to marry Britain. Britain went down on one knee, presented a beautiful diamond ring, and accidentally dropped the ring into the waters. Without no hesitation and no thought for personal danger, Britain dived into the waters to retrieve the ring and was promptly eaten by piranhas. That's what happens when you don't listen to experts. And also, welcome back to By Any Means Necessary. Thank you so much for all your messages you sent me, and a special thanks here to everyone who signed up to my channel. I feel so blessed with so much people that have signed up, so thank you so much for that. I'll go through all the messages, I'll answer as many as I can, but I will like all the messages for definite. So we are at the stage here where Boris Johnson, right, is looking for a review into the migrant crossings. I hear what everyone's saying right now. What another one? Seriously, right? These guys, I tell you, they're out of ideas, right? They might as well just come to us and ask us to just post in ideas. Do you know what I mean? They'll get all the madness because you hear all the madness all over the radio. So you'll get all the madness ideas from there. Do you know what I mean? Right? But these guys they're something else. Right? They now want a review. So what they're going to do is they're going to review it. They're going to say, well, I think the best thing what we can do is probably if we do the same thing that we done last year and the year before that. And if we can say we can do that up until maybe 2024, and then from 2024 onwards, what we'll do again, we'll do the same thing again. I think that's what the review is going to say. I think because these guys, instead of them just saying, you know what, right, what we'll do is we'll just these people we've just got to take whatever let's just get them in the country, get them in the places in the country what need workers, right, get them there, just get them out working. Do you know what I mean? Once you get people, and once people are working like 8 to 12 hours a day, all people want to do is just go home, right, have something to eat, watch a bit of telly, and then go to bed, right, to wake up to go to work the next day. Do you know what I mean? And we've got millions of apparently we've got millions of jobs out there that need filling. Do you know what I mean? So just go and do that. You know what I mean? Don't come up with stupid ideas like George Useless Eustace, right? Where he says what we can do is we can get like I believe he said mothers. I'm sure he said mothers. Get them to go and work in the abattoirs. Like, well, what about if they're vegan or vegetarian? Right? Or, you know what, if they just don't want to go and work in one of those stinking dirty places. This is the stupid ideas that the Tories have got. Do you know what I mean? They just home in on a set of people and say, oh, well, we can get those people to go and work there. In this case, we can get mothers, who drop their children off to school and then they go and work in an abattoir and cut up dead animals. Not anybody can do that work, right? Not everybody's comfortable in doing that type of thing. Do you know what I mean, right? So you can't just target a group of people and say, that's just like saying, you know what, yeah, all these black boys on the road stabbing up the idiot. Let's just go and get them, go and work in the abattoirs. It's ridiculous. Do these young mothers, do they live near abattoirs? Is abattoirs, do they all drive past an abattoir when they're dropping their kids off to school? I don't know. So this is the thing. This is the stupidity of the Tories. Do you know what I mean? On one hand, right, you got the migrant crisis that they're completely fucking up, right, and on the other hand, right, you've got stupid ass politicians like who is that, and George Useless Eustace, right, is a proper Brexiter. He's out and that because remember he's from UKIP. Do you know what I mean, right? In the same way, right, that the Americans are getting some fucking crazy fucking ass fucking politicians, right? Joining the Republicans. Really, I mean, really loons. People who are loons. Do you know what I mean? Crazy. Do you know what I mean? In that same way, yeah. We've had infiltration into our Tory. I say our Tory party because they're a British party. So into our Tory party, we've had infiltration, yeah, of people who are from the far right, who are just dressing in nice suits, like people who are not who are versions of Nigel Farage, right? But just much more charismatic than he can ever be. But the only thing is, right? They can't. They won't be able to. They won't be able to pull the factor of people that he can pull right across the country. But they can, right, in their local areas, right, get enough votes, right, to get them into the Tory party and stuff like that, right. And that's where George Eustace has come from. Do you know what I mean? Because him, right, little Reg Varney looking motherfucker, right, he, right, is straight out of UKIP. Right, that's where he's from. Do you know what I mean? Right, so that's the reason why. Yeah, any ideas he come up with, right, are always going to be crazy because that's the thing. That's the thing with these people from the far right. Yeah, they're all crazy fucking fools. All of them. They're all psychos. They're sickos. Do you know what I mean? Right. So this is the reason why these people are now trying to infiltrate. Right, all the right wing parties right across the world. They're doing this right across the world, right? And a lot of the stuff what they're saying, right, when they say the stuff in public, right, there's a lot of people who are looking for, oh, that's a bit fucking far out. Like you check it out. There's an American politician called Marjorie Taylor Greene, yeah, and this woman is she's a psycho, right? She should be nowhere near having power. Right, this woman, right, after one of the school shootings, right, this woman, right, went and harassed, right. This was before, right, she was a voted politician, right. She went and harassed one of the survivors, right, and told him how he was lying, while she's carrying a gun. Because apparently she carries a gun most of the time, do you know what I mean, right? So while she's doing that, do you know what I mean, right? And she's going up and she's harassing one of the survivors, one of the people who was speaking about like the school shooting. And then the people in her district have seen fit to vote someone like that into power. And you think to yourself, seriously, these people, that's what's happening all the way with the right wing. But anyway, I'm speaking about the migrant crossings. So yeah, so these migrant crossings now, yeah, Well, I mean, these are these are refugee crossings because when you check out the majority of these people, yeah, are coming from Iraq, Afghanistan, right, Libya and Syria. That's where the bulk of them are coming from. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, So this is the thing. So it's but when they're coming from those places, right? We have had a hand in doing that to those people. Right, it's really strange, right? Because I listen to people on the radio, and the way how they're speaking about this and saying, "Oh, well, why don't they claim asylum in France?" So if you heard people in France saying, "Well, why don't they claim?" In fact, why don't they claim? Why don't they claim in England, Britain? Why don't they do that? Right? What's the difference? I mean, France has much more people claiming asylum there, right, than we have. Much more people claiming in France, right? But the standard thing for the British people is to say no, we don't want them here. That's it, standard. That's what the whole Brexit bullshit was about. That we don't want them here. All of it was about that. Do you know what I mean? All of it, right? So, on the weekend, right, it's turned out, right, the MPs, right, are asking for the taxpayer to pay for their legal costs, right, if they get caught up in like a sleaze row and they have to defend themselves in a sleaze row, right, I think so. Well, there's only one thing wrong with that, right, and that is that I believe that's called legal aid. And what have they taken away from the poorest people in this country, right? And every single person, right, who literally every single person in this country, right, can no longer get legal aid. And these politicians have taken that away from us. Now, these very same politicians, the multi-millionaires, right, were saying, well, we can't pay our legal costs. How could we be expected to pay our legal costs if we've got millions of pounds at our disposal? But why should we use that to pay legal costs? So we think, so we believe, and you know what gets me right is they allow this shit to get out into the public. They allow this out, so they know to themselves, you know what? Well, people are going to find out about this, but well, we'll just say Boris got Brexit done, and that will be okay, right? We're going to keep the migrants out, keep the blacks out, keep the Asians out, and anyone that speaks any foreign language, keep them out, flag them off. Right? That's the only way they can get away with this type of bullshit. That's how they can get away with this bullshit, right? Because they prey upon your stupid fucking racism, right? You see, look where the racism has got this world, right? Kyle Rittenhouse, right? Do you understand, right? That because now, right, on this weekend, right, I read the whole everything, every single word of it I've read. But let me tell you, yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse, he shouldn't have even been in court. You'd be surprised what I've got to say about this. But he shouldn't have even been in court. The people who should really be in court, right, is the governor of that state. And whoever, and the people who are running that state, they needed to take responsibility for what he has done. Right? Because, to be honest, right, before the case, right, it's only after he's just been found not guilty, right, I thought, I better read about this because, and just see exactly what this is about. Because all I knew before was like, he's just taken a gun and he's gone down to a Black Lives Matter demonstration, and he's just shot and killed. He basically just shot and killed 2 people and wounded another one, right? But it turns out, right, that the people from that state, right, asked for a militia to come down to protect the businesses down there, right? So knowing, right, that you're living in a country, yeah, where they've got like the Ku Klux Klan, right, you're asking people to come down and protect the businesses down there, knowing this type of thing, right? The tensions, yin and yang. The tensions, right? But you're still prepared to do something so ridiculously stupid, right? Because Kyle Rittenhouse, he's just a little 17-year-old racist, right? Who's been given the opportunity to point his guns at black people. He's been given that opportunity. The state has basically deputized him to do that. Which is why in the first place, yeah, that the police was reluctant to arrest him in the first place. I believe he went home that night on his own steam. Right, after murdering two people and wounding another. I believe he went home that night on his own steam. Do you know what I mean? Because the police was reluctant, because they knew to themselves, well, he's been asked to come down here by the state. The state's asked him to come down here. The police haven't asked him to come down there. The state's asked him to come down there. Right? So what the hell was you expecting? What was you expecting? You're saying to a load of people, yeah, who have got real racial issues. You know what? Yeah, come down, protect. You can point your guns at some black people. Might even be able to shoot a couple of them. We're only lucky, yeah, that we didn't see a proper mass murder down there. That's the only thing that we're lucky. We didn't see an all out and out mass murder. Seriously, right? But as I said, yeah, if Kyle Rittenhouse is in the dock, right, whoever's the governor of that state should be in the dock alongside him, because they're guilty of murder, right? Because what a ridiculous thing to do, to call out a militia, right, to protect businesses, knowing the tensions that you have, right? You've got the fucking KKK in your country. Yeah, they've only been waiting for times like this where the government, where people from the government will say, not the government, it's people from the government in that state, right? You know, so this is local government have asked the people, have asked for people to come out and protect the local businesses, right? And you know, the only people who should be doing that is the police and the National Guard. You should never have you should never deputize civilians to come out and control other civilians. What kind of craziness is that? Yeah, we're just lucky we didn't get another load of 17-year-olds down there, right? You know, just another load of young racist 17-year-olds down there, right? Who are carrying illegal weapons. It's just luck that that didn't actually happen. That you didn't get a lot more. You know, and that's the craziness of the right wing. These people are fucking psychos, right? So as I was saying about the MPs, yeah, and them asking for legal aid, the same legal aid, yeah, that they took away from us. They took. This is the thing with these people. They have absolutely no shame. In the same way, how they will say, you know what, right? You know, £81,000 is not enough for me to live on. I can't live on 82 grand, even though yeah, I'm getting another £23,000 right to pay for my rent. Now you see. Now you see the craziness, right? Because it's 100. Right, their real wage, right, is 108 grand, right? That's their real wage, right? Because how much of us, seriously, right? When your boss is sorting out your wages, says to you, oh, well, yeah, we're going to give you, we're giving you like £14,000 a year, and then we're going to give you another £6,000 for rent. No, your boss will just say to you, no, we're going to give you 20 grand a year, right? And whatever you want to do, you're doing it, as long as you don't take our company into disrepute. They're not saying to you, you know what, yeah, we're giving you this, and this much is for your rent. No. Right, and then and then there's the fact. Obviously, there's the other 200 and something grand that they get for to employ staff. Right, so they employ most of them employ their partner, their children, brothers, sisters, cousins. But that money is going into family. A lot of it's going into the same family household. So when these people are talking and they're letting all this information out into the public, right, it's because you know what? They have no shame and they don't give a fuck. Right? That's the reason why they can just say, you know what? You, and you, right, need to pay our legal costs when we get caught up in a sleaze row. What do you think this is? But legal aid for you? No. Legal aid for Joe Public? No. No. For Joanna Public? No way. Absolutely no way to your Jose's. You are not getting legal aid. Right? You have to do something else. Represent yourself. You know the saying there, isn't it? Right? Right? A man who represents himself, or a woman, has a fool for a client. They know that. But they're saying to you, know what? You can represent yourself, but for us, we need legal aid, right? And you need to pay for that. But pay for yours? No. We can't pay for your legal aid. No way. Can't pay for your. You need to pay your own legal aid. Right? In fact, yeah, you pay your own legal costs because there's no such thing as legal aid, not for you. But for them, they've got the cheek, the audacity, the liberty, right, to say, you know what? We expect the taxpayer to pay our legal costs. And I have some Brexit bonuses. This is the thing, right? Nobody so far, right, in the millions of Brexiters out there, right, will can provide us with any Brexit bonuses. No one can. There's no one who can. Right, and this is the problem, isn't it? Right, Brexit's been voted for, and we've been told, that things was going to get so much better, right? But now they just start, things are, it hasn't gone to that, If it's yourself, you're just mixing up a load of words. You're not actually saying anything, just like I just done. Do you know what I mean? You just humming and hawing and just like, a bit of totty. What? Just craziness. It's rubbish. But no, absolutely not one person has come up so far, yeah, with any type of Brexit bonus, right? So I have found the Brexit bonuses so I can speak about them. Right? Well, the unfortunate thing is, yeah, the Brexit bonuses are not for this country. Unfortunately, of course, right? So we're just going to look at one aspect, which is Belgium. Might look a bit at Ireland as well, right? But Belgium, right, where they do lovely chocolate, but it's not as nice as Cadbury's. That's upset them now, right? Now, Belgium have managed to get 81 of our companies go over there and set up. Remember, this is just one European territory. That's just one, right? 81 of our companies have gone to Belgium and set up, and so you got to imagine, yeah, that like these 81 companies that's left from over here. So these will be from all over the country, right? So whatever area they've left from this area, right, in Britain, right, and they've gone over to Belgium and they've set up, right, probably in a similar type of location, right, and now they're employing Belgian staff, right? I believe is their language Flemish. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I believe their language is Flemish. God, I hope it is, because if it's not, I'm going to get some real stick for that, right? But they've gone over, right, and now their company are employing Belgian-speaking people instead of British-speaking people. When they were, so it's like, it's I'm sure, right, it's over 3,000 jobs, right, that these companies have taken with them, right? The 81 companies have taken over 3,000 jobs with them, right? And the profits I believe, right, is between 6 to 10 billion, right? That's just with those companies, right, that have taken their ass and gone into Belgium to go and set up over there, right? Where they can have some lovely waffles every morning, right? And left from over here, and now that's as I said, they'll probably set up in the same type of district, right, as they do in as they would have had in Britain, right? And now they're probably just employing the same amount of people as they would have in Britain, right? But this is a Brexit benefit for Belgium. This, the same thing I was reading, yeah, did say that there are some Belgian companies, yeah, obviously who used to deal with British companies who are finding it much more difficult. But you've got to understand, they can just very soon just start sourcing their products elsewhere, because that's what they'll do. And who's having a really great time of Brexit is Ireland, because I can guarantee you, right, if it's 81 companies that have gone from Britain to Belgium, right, it's going to be more than triple that have gone from Britain to Ireland and have set up, because they are just having the best of both worlds, because they can just supply straight into Britain and they can supply straight into the EU from Ireland, right? So Ireland is having an absolutely fantastic time, right, when it comes down to it, right? They're just being stirred up by the DUP, right? The DUP are being very reckless. But if you look at the Irish businesses are doing absolutely fantastic, and they're really enjoying, right, the Irish protocol, because it means, as I said, it means that they can just sell like that, bam, both ways, easy enough. Anyway, guys, this is By Any Means Necessary. I'm the MC John Ribbs. It was really nice to speak to you guys. Comments below.